every corners here. Am I audible? I just want to hear some yes. Okay. So I want the best energy from you all today because here at Bishnupur, একটু যদি হাত তুলে আমাকে বলেন। আচ্ছা, এইদিকে অনেকের হাত দেখতে পাচ্ছি, এইদিকে অনেকের দেখছি। তার মানে আজ যারা যারা এসেছেন অনেকেই এখানে অলরেডি অ্যাডমিশন নিয়েছেন এবং নিশ্চিন্ত হতে পারেন যে আপনার বাচ্চার ভবিষ্যৎ কিন্তু একটা সেফ হ্যান্ডে আছে। বিকজ আমরা সবসময় বলি যে আমাদের গ্লোবাল স্কুল উইথ লোকাল স্টাইল মানেই হচ্ছে যে প্রত্যেকটা জিনিস, প্রত্যেকটা ব্যাপার এখানে ইনফ্রাস্ট্রাকচার, পড়ানোর স্টাইল, ফ্যাকাল্টি সব কিছুই গ্লোবাল স্টাইলে পাবেন, কিন্তু বাড়ির সামনে, মানে বিষ্ণুপুরেই, লোকাল এরিয়াতেই। জেনারেলি আমাদের বাচ্চাদের একটা ব্রাইট ফিউচার দিতে গেলে আমাদেরকে অনেক দূরে নিয়ে যেতে হয়। এই ভাবনাটা নিয়ে এসেছে, এই ভিশনটা নিয়ে এসেছে বিষ্ণুপুরে এবং আপনাদের জন্য আজকের এই দিনটা সফল হতে পেরেছে। আমরা আর কিছুক্ষণের মধ্যে শুরু করব। আশা করছি আপনাদের এখানে আসতে কোনো অসুবিধা হয়নি। অনেকটা কঠিন সময় পেরিয়ে এসেছি, গত প্রায় 2 বছর, ফ্রম লাস্ট 2 ইয়ার্স আমাদের সকলের জন্য বাচ্চাদের শিক্ষা ব্যবস্থা নিয়ে তো আর বলছিই না, সেটা টোটালি তথৈবচ অবস্থায় চলে গেছিল। কিন্তু এখন আমরা সেখান থেকে বেরিয়ে আসছি। নাও উই আর কামিং আউট ফ্রম সাচ কাইন্ড অফ ক্রিটিক্যাল সিচুয়েশন। কিন্তু তাও বলবো আমরা মেনটেন করব একটা বেসিক ডিস্টেন্স, আমরা মেনটেন করব সেই হাইজিন এবং অবশ্যই স্যানিটাইজেশন, মাস্ক, এগুলো কিন্তু আমাদের মেনটেন করতে হবে। অনুরোধ করব যারা ওই দিকে বসে আছেন তাদের থেকে পাচ্ছি না হাততালিটা, একটু হাততালি পাবো কি? একটু যারা বসে আছেন, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। যদিও ফুল টিম ইজ ফ্রম মুম্বাই, কিন্তু বিষ্ণুপুরে এই ভিশনারি তারা ভেবেছেন এবং তার জন্য তাদেরকে সাধুবাদ জানাই। টু দ্য হোল টিম। মোস্ট ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট সেটা হচ্ছে আমরা স্কুল পরিদর্শনে যাব, ভেতরে স্কুলটা দেখব এবং আশা করছি যারা যারা এখানে আছেন তারা মুগ্ধ অবশ্যই হবেন। Let me take this opportunity to introduce this dream project to you all. AAJ Global Foundation School is a dream project. Mrs. Jaya Sengupta, continue hope hatali gulo, and Mr. Ananya Sengupta. It's a school designed with love to house the dreams of rising stars, to preserve and nurture the inquisitiveness of young learners, believe in sharing the fortunes and glory with people having humble beginnings. Started with a hearty contribution, they continued to establish the foundation in 2016 to bring more structure to the system, to accomplish their philanthropic dreams. Their involvement in the work and people has helped create an intrinsic team that goes on to organize projects, making a difference in people's life. Please give a big round of applause for AGFS and its amazing team. To join us, একটু জোরে হাততালি হবে সকলের তরফ থেকে। Yes, বাচ্চারা বেশি উৎসাহিত দেখতে পাচ্ছি বড়দের থেকে, and which is quite natural. Welcome, এবং আমাদের সাথে আমাদের স্টুডেন্টসরাও এসেছে এবং আমরা সকলেই আজকে বেশিরভাগ সাদা পরে আছে। আমাদের তার লক্ষ্যটাই হচ্ছে শান্তি এবং অবশ্যই অগ্রগতি। এবং এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাই আমরা আমাদের ফেলিসিটেশন পার্ট। প্রথমেই আমরা ফেলিসিটেট করব মিস্টার অপরূপ সেনগুপ্ত, ফাউন্ডার অ্যান্ড চেয়ারম্যান অফ AAJ গ্লোবাল ফাউন্ডেশন স্কুল। একটা জোরে হাততালি হবে। এখন আমরা বরণ করে নিচ্ছি মিস্টার অপরূপ সেনগুপ্ত, ফাউন্ডার অ্যান্ড চেয়ারম্যান অফ AAJ গ্লোবাল ফাউন্ডেশন স্কুল। ওকে, আমাদের ছোট্ট সোনামণি বন্ধু ওনাকে পুষ্পস্তবক দিয়ে বরণ করে ফাউন্ডেশন স্কুল। আমরা ওনাকে বরণ করে নিচ্ছি একটি দারুণ সুন্দর স্টোল দিয়ে এবং পুষ্পস্তবক দিয়ে। To Mr. Devendra Reddy, Trustee, of our AAJ Global Foundation School. Thank you so much. Moving to our next felicitation, we have the gracious presence of Mr. Anil Modi. He is also the trustee of AGFS Global Foundation. We are felicitating to all our dignitaries with this beautiful stole and flower bouquet. So they are really depicting our culture and really style, and they are all looking really vivacious in this beautiful stole. Now moving to the next, we have Mr. Indranil Das Gupta. He is the CEO of Chemtrolls Infotech. So let's welcome him and felicitate him. Next, we would like to felicitate Mr. Bhaskar Bhattacharya, founder of AGFS Global. The children are already very smart. That's what our dignitaries are saying, so we can make them smarter and smartest to face the world. Okay, lightening of the lamp, and for anything we want to start, we must go with a positive note, and that work will be done by the lightning of lamp. And to do the honors, I would like to call once again Mr. Aparup Sen Gupta, founder and chairman of AAJ Global Foundation School, Jaya Sen Gupta, co-founder and trustee of AAJ Global Foundation School, and Mr. Ananya Sen Gupta, he is the co-founder and trustee as well of AAJ Global Foundation School. These are the three people who will take away the lighting of the lamp. So let's welcome them, ladies and gentlemen, on stage.
Thank you so much, Shubhana, for the nice, the starting of our new, and it's a memorable day for all of us. This is definitely an emotional journey for all of us. So, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, and thank you so much for coming here, being with us, and celebrating with us this memorable day. And this is definitely an emotional journey for all of us. So, আমার মনে পড়ে যাচ্ছে ছোটবেলার একটা ছোট্ট রাইম, ছোট্ট ছোট্ট পায়ে চলতে চলতে আমি পৌঁছে যাব, সেই চাঁদের পাহাড় পৌঁছে যাব, সেই চাঁদের পাহাড় মাথায় যাহার রামধনু রাঙা হয় দেখতে পাবো। আমাদের ছোটবেলায় এই স্বপ্নগুলো, পৌঁছে যাওয়ার স্বপ্ন, আমাদের এই নানা জিনিস জানার, বোঝার, দেখার, চেনার স্বপ্ন। আর এই স্বপ্ন বোধহয় আমরা জেনারেশন আফটার জেনারেশন দেখে যাই, তাই না? আমরা আমাদের জন্য আমাদের বাবা মারা দেখেছেন, আর আমরা দেখছি আমাদের নেক্সট জেনারেশনের জন্য। আর এই স্বপ্নকে সাকার করার জন্য আজ গ্লোবাল ফাউন্ডেশন স্কুল আমাদের বিষ্ণুপুরের মানুষের কাছে নিয়ে এসেছে এক প্রতিশ্রুতি গ্লোবাল স্কুল গড়ে তোলার, যেখানে আমরা শুধু বই পড়ব না, শুধু পরীক্ষা দেব না, আমরা এই এত বড় একটা জায়গায় খোলা হাওয়ায় ঘুরে বেড়াবো আর খুঁজে বেড়াবো আমাদের ভালো লাগাকে, আমাদের স্বপ্নকে। আর সেই স্বপ্নকে সাকার করার জন্য, তাদের স্বপ্নের সাথে থাকার জন্য আমরা সব সময় ওদের পাশে আছি। সো লেটস স্টার্ট টুডে with offering the lighting of the lamp and start the festival. And I will call Mr. Devendra Reddy, our trustee, and Mr. Anil Modi, our trustee, to be with us. We'll call Jasmine, principal ma'am, to be with us, and I will also call Kakoli to be on stage with us. Please. Thank you so much. या कुन्देन्दु तुषार हार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती विशेष जाघपः।
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Riya. It was really nice to hear you, and you have a really lovely voice. And now, can we call Ishani to join us for the Saraswati Stotra? Where are the claps? Bolte hobe. Let's encourage with claps. Yes, thank you.
Hello. विद्यादायिनी शारदे विद्यादायिनी शारदे नाद ब्रह्मस्वर ज्ञानदायिनी नाद ब्रह्मस्वर ज्ञानदायिनी मधुरी वीणा वादिनी मधुरी वीणा वादिनी पुण्य पावनी वरदे वरदे विद्यादायिनी शारदे शारदे
Beautiful. It was divine and very devotional. Thank you so much, Shani. Moving to the next part, but before we do that, we expected two special guests to join us, but because of their busy schedule, they couldn't join us, and they sent the warm wishes from their side. So that is Srimati K. Radhika Iyer, IAS, District Magistrate Bankura, and Shri Dhritiman Sarkar, IPS, Superintendent of Police, Bankura. So they have sent their heartfelt wishes to us. Let's have a big round of applause for them. So we are really honored to have Honorable SDPO Sri Kutubuddin Khan with us, when we are really happy that out of that busy schedule, sir has joined us. Thank you so much, sir, for your gracious presence. And with the presence of all of you and all of our dignitaries, we shall begin our next part. And the next part is introducing all our dignitaries to you all. Starting with that, Mr. Kutubuddin Khan. So let's welcome him for the felicitation. We are going to felicitate him with a beautiful stole and a flower bouquet. Sir, please, I would insist you to join us on stage. Let's have a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we are going down to felicitate him, and it's an honor for all of us to have him with us for this great day for AAJ Global Foundation School. This part, that is introduction of our dignitaries. Starting with, we have Mr. Aparup Singh Gupta, founder and chairman. But before we call him on stage and dais, let me introduce in short about him. Aparup Singh Gupta is global leader and has served in several multinational companies as their global CEO and board member. In addition, he has mentored a wide range of professionals across cultures and continents. His belief in the journey for giving back can be summarized in his own words: We rise by lifting others. Mr. Sengupta is the recipient of several international awards and accolades, the most recent one being from Asia One that conferred him the honor of Global Indian of the Year Award in 2021. Can we have a big round of applause for this thing? Thank you so much. He is a distinguished alumnus of the Indian Institute of Science and Technology in Electrical Engineering and had his academic grind and exposure across various schools in India and abroad, including IIMS, XLRI, Portsmouth University, and others. Mr. Aparup Sengupta, founder and chairman of AAJ Global Foundation, is a very humble and charismatic leader with a tall vision, yet he always remains connected to his roots, an entrepreneur in residence for corporations globally. Mr. Sengupta continues to be an active investor. He mentors young professionals and actively supports philanthropy. So, we are looking forward to the school's flight with the wings of imagination. Once more, let's give a big round of applause for Mr. Aparup Sengupta.
First of all, a very good morning to all of you, and it's a very humbling and an emotional moment for all of us here. You can understand that. And honorable trustees, also my dear friend Devendra Reddy and Anil Modi, thank you for gracing this occasion. And thank you Bhaskar Bhattacharya and Indranil. They are very dear colleagues, friends, and have been like brothers for a long period of time, and it's a wonderful assembly of people. And thank you so much, dear parents and students. Welcome to this place. This is going to be a global place in Bishnupur that we are going to build. Thank you so much, the parents and dignitaries, and each and every one of you. Thank you, Mr. Kripamoy Mondol, who has been the force for getting me attracted to Bishnupur, and his wife Kapoli. They have all actually embraced us to welcome in this city. And I'm going to talk about a very interesting concept called the Wings of Imagination. And what I dream is that this will be a historic day, not only for us in Bishnupur, for us as AAJ Global Foundation, but I believe this is going to be a historic day for our nation, for our country, and hopefully for the world. So that's the big, hair-raising, audacious goal that I am embarking on this journey with, and I'm sure that the trusted colleagues and friends, led by Jasmine, and she has been a wonderful support for building this entire team and making this school a truly world-class school that is going to be a pride for not only for us, but for the parents, for the children, for the community and the society at large. So, shuru kothay hoyechilo? Where did it all begin? And I can tell you in few words, why did this happen? I was doing a lot of work professionally, but there was always a calling personally to do something for the community and for the society at large. So I think there are three things. One, there was a huge desire to make a difference, because I also personally grew up from a very small town. I also had very humble beginnings, and from there I moved and climbed the corporate ladder. I have been seen success. So that is a very strong desire to create companies. But what survives beyond lifetime is an institution of this stature, of this color, of this shape. So that's the reason, the second reason why we thought of this school. And finally, we also contemplated that education is a great equalizer. It equalizes the society. Like a cell phone equalizes the communication across the nation, education actually creates equalization. Jake bole samaje sammyota niye ashe, shikkha. So with this three very strong will, supported by Joya and Jijo, my family, we gave birth to AAJ Global Foundation as a trust way back in 2016. We have been doing work for communities all over the country, and then we decided that now let's give it an institutional character by creating AAJ Global Foundation School. So that's the history of the tremendous desire that we need to do something that will last beyond our lifetime, that will make a difference, that will create equalization in society and give opportunities to almost everybody, how AAJ Global Foundation was born. So now, how is this school different? I mean, what are the uniqueness of this school that is not there in other schools? I can think of two things, or rather three things. One is, it is going to be a confluence of academics and attitude. Shudhu lekha pora noy, shudhu shikkha noy, there has to be an ability to create shobha, attitude. So that is very critical in the modern world, especially when you are going anywhere, leaving Bishnupur, going to Kolkata, going to Bangalore, going to Boston. Wherever you go, it is important for you to develop this wholesome AA strategy, which is academics and attitudes. The second one is that how can you blend local as well as global? There are so many beautiful things that we have locally. And I have been to more than maybe 25 countries. I had at some point in time 67,000 people working for me across 38 countries and 6 continents. And I found in all of them there is some commonality. And some of those attitudinal commonalities are there very much in India. I mean, the kind of history, 5,000 years of history that we have, the culture that we have, the compassion that we have for each other, the fellow feeling that we have. I think that, along with the Western understanding of efficiency and process put together, can be a very, very unique combination for all of us. So that's the other dimension of how do you blend local and global. I call it global, you can call it that way, combine that. And then bring in the confluence of tradition and modernity. So Sanatan ebong Novin, দুটোরই সংমিশ্রণ দরকার. I mean, modernity is bringing new ideas, new stuff. At the same time, Sanatan is creating the values, the cultures, the bonding of the families, the family ecosystem, and so on and so forth. So with all this put together, which is a combination of tradition and modernity, being local and global, and building academics and attitude, we have thought that this school will be a very distinctive, unique school. And I can very proudly say that the teachers, and led by the principal, Ma'am Jasmine Chabra, she is doing something amazing in the sense that she is building that capability, that capacity in this institution. Now, to go back in building a good school, and I've been doing this research for the last 20 years. I mean, if you ask my friend, they all go back and say that, okay, you said something 20 years back, you have made it a reality. And many people said that, why are you going to Bishnupur? You go to a modern town and do it. I said, no, I will go to the hinterland. I came up from a small town. And it is possible to build a global institution in a small town like this. And I think it is not a small town, it is a great town. So there is a difference between small and great. Bishnupur is an international location, I believe. I mean, there's an airport that will light up. We will find people from all over the world coming and finding out what is happening in Bishnupur. So that is the whole idea. So in that context, what are the 3 things that is required to build a great school based on my research that I found out? 3 things: structure, teacher, culture. 3 things have to be developed to build a great school. Now, what is structure? Structure does not mean construction and campus. It means methodology, it means technology, it means process, it means the kind of proficiencies that we will build. That is part of the structure. Then comes to what I call is building the teachers. Now, teachers is just not somebody who has a qualification and somebody who comes to class and takes the class and goes away. They are the ones who are training the young minds. They are the ones who are going to create that lasting impression. They should have the tenacity to have the motherly or the sisterly or the brotherly attitude to make a difference to the kids. And they should start loving them. And once they do that, you will suddenly find that these teachers will start developing a very different temperament. Because temperament is most important part of teachers. And if I go to the national education policy, they are talking of that, go away from this whole idea of rote learning, which is mukhosthoy mukh thubre pora, jetake bole. Go away from that and try and integrate stuff. And the third block, which is the culture, I have summarized that with 4 things. One is build curiosity and help curious kids to ask questions. The second thing is that enable them with creativity. The third is build an element of concentration so that they can concentrate, not just get sucked up into activities, and finally be compassionate. So if you build in a student from the formative days these 4 dimensions, a culture will get formed in the school. And in that context, as I was talking to the teacher, I kind of wrote a line which is comparing them with chefs. First of all, my personal belief is the best assets in a nation, in my mind today, are teachers. They build the citizens of your future. I am who I am, not because of me, but because of my teacher. I am successful because of my teacher. Your kids will be successful and glow around the world and spread their wings of imagination and take their flights because of the teachers. All my teachers, none of them have probably, many of them have never even visited outside the country, but I have gone all over the world. That's because of that teacher. So therefore, let's give a big round of applause that we are trying to build those teachers. So how can I write a line about those teachers? What exactly do they do? One is, it's very emotional to make a statement like this, but what exactly do they do? I have wrote this statement, which is, a teacher is like a chef that carefully cooks curiosity and confusion in the crucible of compassion and create learning outcomes. So, যেমন রান্না করে মানুষ, teacher confusion and curiosity কে একসঙ্গে ভালোবাসার পাত্রে রান্না করে তারপর তাকে উপহার দেয় স্টুডেন্টকে, স্টুডেন্ট সেটা খায়, nourished হয়, বড় হয়. So that's one part of the definition of the teacher. So therefore, these 3 dimensions that I talked of is a structure, teacher and culture is nothing but place, people and performance. Now, as I told you, in the national education policy, they are talking of going into what you call is activity-based learning and integrated learning. So how do you create integrated learning? And here I will draw the element of 2 dimensions of culture and creativity and curiosity, how they get blend together and you create integrated learning. Let me give you an example. Let's say there's a small sapling and then you suddenly find some dewdrops are falling. So fine. Rabindranath Tagore writes, Jal pore, pata nor. Likhe fello, kobita hoye gelo. It becomes poetry. But now if you look at it with another lens, why does a water droplet fall? Why is it falling? True, Isaac Newton saw that yes, things fall on the earth. So now there is gravity. This becomes physics. Now, why is the water droplet still stuck and not falling off the leaf? That becomes surface tension. Why is the leaf green? That becomes botany. So if you look at just one phenomena, that has huge dimensions of looking at various lenses, be it a physics, be it chemistry, be it botany, or be it poetry. So therefore, this whole idea of integrated learning is actually coming back and creating different genres of kids. And this whole idea of integration at the same time bringing all together is the idea of generalization. In these all subjects that I talk of in that small phenomena, if you generalize and go back, you will find that there is only one scene and different sides. That is the mantra that we have taken from 5,000 or 10,000 years old Rig Veda, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, which means there is one truth. The wise call it with many names. So that is how you build the element of curiosity and creativity in the kids and find out in a scene how things are different, at the same time it merges into one. When you start building this, the kids will be of very different nature. They will ask questions, why, what, when, where, how. We should have answered. No question is idiotic question. In fact, to the teachers we are talking to them that allow them to ask stupid questions. Have the freedom to fail. It is important for you to give them the freedom to fail. If they fail, they will learn and they will become better. Then comes the other 2 dimensions, which is concentration and compassion. Now, why is concentration important? Because it has been an element of our Indian culture for a long period of time, that we went into prayers, we went into deep meditations, we went into understanding who am I, who is the self. So that has been an inherent culture in our ecosystem, and we have develop that. And today I believe that it is important for each one of us just not to assimilate and assemble. It is also important to be alone. That means we will have the gatherings, we'll do all assemblies, but is it important for the kids, even if it is for 5 minutes, to be alone with themselves, not lonely. Remember, it is not lonely to be alone. It is not all about working, it is also about gazing, which is you have worked hard, but at the same time just gaze at the sunset or the sunrise, and some very different things will emerge out of that. And finally, just not gathering, khali arohon kora, nije niye nawa, they should also learn what you call is giving. So therefore, this whole idea of concentration and compassion comes together because people inherently realize that life will become much better if you go and search your own heart and search your own place. Today on this August gathering, Joya set a very big, hair-raising, audacious goal. এই ছোট্ট ছোট্ট পায় পৌঁছে যাব চাঁদের পাহাড়, which is we will go to the mountains of the moon. That's what she said. That's the goal. Now in that goal, and I was looking at what did I do in that goal in this journey, I just said that probably we have gone around the world and we have gone many things, but end of the day, we have to create something where we have to create the next generation and give them the wings. যাকে বলি আমি ইচ্ছে ডানা, সেই ইচ্ছে ডানাটা তৈরি করতে হবে। ওই বলেছিল রবীন্দ্রনাথ, দেখা হয় নাই চক্ষু মেলিয়া, ঘর হতে শুধু 2 পা ফেলিয়া, একটি ধানের শীষের উপর একটি শীষের বিন্দু, আজ বিষ্ণুপুর কেন্দ্রবিন্দু। I mean, that is the thought that is there in my mind. And as she had said, that flight to the moon, what you need is wings of imagination. And with that flight, I can only summarize by saying that behind every frame and frailty of this human body and mind, there lies a vast sky of possibilities, of trophies, of treasures and tranquility. Let us give those wings enough power so that they can take the flight and ride with their imagination to their destination of what they aspire and bring in prosperity. With these few words and these few moments, I would like to say thank you very much. Dhanyabad. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। এবং স্যার যে কথাগুলো বললেন সেগুলো সত্যি অনেক কিছুই মনে করিয়ে দিল, এবং আশা করছি আমাদের যারা এখানে পরবর্তী প্রজন্মরা আজকে এখানে পড়তে আসবে, এখান থেকেই পড়াশোনা করবে, তাদের একটি বেশ শক্ত এবং স্ট্রং এবং অবশ্যই একটি ফাউন্ডেশন ক্রিয়েট হবে, যেটা only possible with AAJ Global Foundation School. So that's what we said, and that's what I want to once again say, making life purposeful, and of course a global school with local style. So that's what is all about our AAJ Global School. Okay, so now moving to the next part, we have a lot of dignitaries who will be definitely introduced to you all, but before moving ahead, next I would like to introduce and call Mr. Ananya Sengupta, co-founder and trustee. Okay, so he said that he will be the last one because the final speak will be from one of our co-founder. So then we must go ahead with our very, very charming personality, Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Jasmine Chabra. But before moving ahead, I want to give a brief introduction about this beautiful personality. A master's in English with over 18 years of qualitative experience in teaching and administration with top schools in India. A school management professional, her career contour spans over 18 years, with school of which major years have been in school administration. Rich experience in entire gamut of school administration, inclusive of curriculum planning, teacher training and development of managerial aspects of school education. Her greatest strengths which helped her to achieve a successful head position are her logical and critical thinking, problem solving skills, excellent communication skills and management ability. So ladies and gentlemen, I request all of you, let's welcome Mrs. Jasmine Chabra, Principal of AAJ Global Foundation School. Let's welcome her.
need to be acceptful of ourselves that we are flawed, we are insufficient, and we have to live with it. You know, do you see those advertisements, terms and conditions apply? Well, life's terms and condition is that you are flawed, and it's a precondition, new leaf to nurture such citizens of the country. And I'm so happy that I'm honestly very proud that I'm in my homeland helping my beautiful family, and I'm thankful for all of you here. I'm thankful for all the parents, especially the cute students and the beautiful potential students who are going to come join this family. So I want to conclude my speech. Means is we will overcome. Thank you so much.
Give her wings of imagination, but keep his feet grounded. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our Reverend Chief Guest, Mr. Aparup Sen Gupta, the founder and chairman of AAJ Global Foundation School. Our guests of honor, Mrs. Jaya and Mr. Jijo Sen Gupta, the co-founders and directors of AAJ Global Foundation School. Our distinguished trustees, Mr. Anil Modi and Mr. Devendra Reddy, I'm sorry. And our esteemed guests, Mr. Bhaskar Bhattacharya and Mr. Indranil Dasgupta, and this august gathering in AAJ Global Park. But most importantly, my beloved children, lots of love to you. I can't help expressing our extreme delight to reunite with the heads of the family, Mrs. and Mr. Sen Gupta and their beloved son, Mr. Jijo Sen Gupta, our trustees, Mr. Devendra Reddy and Mr. Anil Modi, and its devoted members in Mumbai, who together have translated a dream, a vision into a magnificent reality that you see around, and whose most attractive element is positivity that attracts children and grown-up alike. So moving on to what we propose to do is to create futuristic citizens. I would begin with the obvious. A healthy and happy child alone will know what it is to live fully. So let's smile at those soiled shoes because she played in the ground today, and be content to see him smiling because his innocence has won his teacher's heart already. We intend to give flight to our children's imagination, retaining their originality, an independent thinker, a true social being, an environmentalist, and a dreamer who strives to make the world a better place for all of us, is what our town, nation, and the world needs today, so that our children live fulfilling lives. We as a race are at crossroads. We have to preserve our intrinsic value system and culture, and at the same time we have to adapt to that fast and ever-changing world. There is a hope if we look within. Our children must be torch-bearers and lighthouses, giving voices and guiding paths. AAJ Global Foundation School seeks your cooperation for you all, our extended family, in creating a society that cares for everyone and humanity above all. He prayeth well who loveth well both man and bird and beast. Let's do our bit in creating global citizens who won't just earn their livelihood, but immense respect from the society at large, who shall be exemplary in their character and actions, and above all, who shall give true meaning to life by loving and caring for all those around them. Jai Hind. Thank you so much, and dignitary which we have here with us. We have the gracious presence of Mr. Devendra Reddy. He is the trustee of AAJ Global Foundation School. But before I call him on dais, I would like to introduce to you his profile. Mr. Reddy is COO and trustee of AAJ Global Foundation. He holds a prosperous 30+ years of professional experience in multiple sectors with a specialization in healthcare and life sciences. with big round of applause.
So good morning everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here today. And also I find it very heartening that we have our first batch of students and parents along with us on this very auspicious and momentous day. So today I'm going to talk about around the globe, and the funny thing is, oh, it's not funny really, but when you enter the school, the first thing you see is AAJ Global Park. Then when you come into the school is AAJ Global Foundation School. And one of the things that we keep talking about is global citizens. So I think we have a very bias towards this word, global. And when we talk of global citizens, sometimes we wonder, is it the right time to talk about global citizens in a school environment? So to buttress that fact, I thought I'll just borrow a line from the last, the General Secretary of the United Nations, okay, Pak Ki-moon, and he said, we must foster global citizenship. Education is about more than literacy and numeracy. It's also about citizenry. Education must fully assume its essential role in helping people to forge more just, peaceful and tolerant societies. So one of the things why we are so, very hung up about these global citizens is because I think it's something that we need to establish right from the early days when children come to school. Right? So if we talk of global citizens, so it begs the question, so what kind of people are they? How do we build them? Right? So how do we build them? What kind of characteristics do they have? So one of the things that we do is, does it mean that we create people who can globetrot around the world? Because these are things that start giving you that subconscious understanding of global perspective. It's not about one place, it's about, because everything interplays today, right? While you sit in Bishnupur, but you're using a product from some other country, or there is something happening in some other part of the globe that's really going to affect you as a person. So the global perspective is important. So you need to understand much more than what's local, right? The other thing we were very fortunate about is we played a lot of team sport. So, I played cricket, I played basketball, we played hockey in winter. But the thing was, when we play team sport, we never look at the background or the skin color or who are my teammates. We believe that there is a single focus, there is a goal to be achieved, right? Irrespective of who plays with me, because we believe we are all equal and we contribute in our own ways to the single objective of bringing glory both to your team and to each other. So there you start getting those little subtle qualities of empathy, equality, team spirit, which is so important, because that helps in ensuring that you're not looking people through microscopic lens and understanding what's my difference with them. What you're trying to do is to understand how are we as a team winning, right? And then we went to a school that was multi-religious. So every festival was, celebrated, and the thing was, the only difference was that if it was a celebration of my festival, somebody would come and say, hey, where's the cake today, right? But there was so much of togetherness, and there was no, agenda of, okay, it's his festival, I don't need to do anything. But that is what is important, because I think if we create the type of exposure in the learning environment, and the biggest learning environment, of course, children learn at home, children learn through their social interactions, but the biggest learning center is the school. So it is our endeavor to create a learning environment where things of equality, empathy, tolerance is imbibed into when they go out into the big world. Because once they do this in school, they take it to their, to their homes and to their societies. And once we have such groups across the globe, it starts making a global impact. So therefore, I think if we can do this, while we talk of, our motto of excellence in, literacy, oracy, numeracy and graphicacy, but we have to ensure that this is built on a very solid edifice of equality, empathy and tolerance. If we do that, then I think we really meet our objective of making the difference and really being the difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really appreciating to hear these kind words and really learning words from Mr. Devendra Reddy. Now moving to our yet another trustee who has been with us for the beginning, and let me introduce to you and the details about our next trustee, Mr. Anil Modi. So before I start, can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Anil Modi once again, because I can see the applauses are very less. I don't know why. But anyways, moving to the next, I shall introduce to you Mr. Anil Modi. Mr. Anil Modi is an evangelist of customer experience, revolution, and entrepreneur, angel investor in analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and has a deep understanding of the customer's experience paradigm. Mr. Modi worked in various capacities as a senior executive leader with several multinationals and has worked both in India and USA. An alumnus from Regional Engineering College, Durgapur, Mr. Modi also completed his Masters in Business Management from Cornell University, USA. We are fortunate enough to have him as our trustee and mentor and are eagerly looking forward to his words of wisdom on the power of education. Over to you, sir. Please join us.
Thank you for the kind words. Before I begin, Apurv, congratulations. Your dream has come true. What you have been talking about for so many years to all of us, and I'm very happy today that it has come through. And Jaya, your fruit of labor, figuratively and literally, has now been born. Today you have another child to take care. And Jija, you have sibling now, huh? And not only one, you have all the children sitting here, your sibling, and many more to come in quick future. So congratulations to the family for this wonderful, and thank you for people on the dais for being here, for gracing the occasion, our friends here, parents, all that have come. So I was told to talk about power of education, and I said, look, here are parents which are admitting their children to the school, so they do understand the power of education. We have learned people sitting here. We have AAJ media professionals all here, AAJ group people around, the school dignitaries. Everybody understands the power of education, so what can I talk about? So I thought, okay, let me try to focus on only one point. Okay, intrinsically we understand the power of education, and that's why we are here. But there is an element to that which I want to allude in my talk. Only one element that I want to focus on. So I'll give you a few names of very successful people that we are fully aware of. So we have heard of Bill Gates. We have heard of Gautam Advani, today India's richest man probably. We have heard of Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who made Facebook. Walt Disney, who doesn't know Walt Disney, who's made such wonderful thing for children. So these people, and there are a few more, these people had one thing in common. They never completed education. Never completed education. So imagine and Stanford put together, they did a study some time back, and they figured out with some criteria of successful people in the world, they said these people who were not educated are only 6% of the total successful people. So they are 94% of the people. So point number one, it gives you credit. So this is for the parents, because your children should learn a variety of subjects. Their ability to connect dots and predict future. So as you go along in your higher education, you will you will learn this ability where you are able to connect few dots and get to some predictive outcomes. You will gain confidence, and of course, you will have the ability to earn more. So all that we are fully aware, and that's why probably parents are here. So let me go back to those 6% people, what they had. If education gives all this, what did these 6% people had that made them successful? So when I researched, I figured out one thing that they had, which is very important, is the focus. They were relentless focus about a problem that they had seen or something they want to achieve, and they went after it. So these 6% of successful people had a very, very sharp focus on what they wanted to do. So balance 94%. So I will leave you with this thought, okay? If you want to be successful, there's a good 6% chance that without education you can be successful. But if you be educated, there's a good chance of 94% of being successful. And in the end, I want to talk about how can you be 100% successful. So I'll go to the story of Arjun. If you remember that story where his teacher asked him to look at a fish and look at the eye of the fish to pierce it with a bow and arrow. So he asked Arjun, what do you see? He said, I just see the eye. So that was the focus he had. But in addition, he also learned archery. He spent hours and hours and months learning archery. So education plus focus. If you bring this together, it's 100% success. So that is what I wanted to leave the audience with. Now one question which arrived to me, how much education is good enough? How much should we get educated, right? So if we go by the standard measurements of education, if somebody is graduate, we say, okay, he's fairly successful, fairly educated person. But in my mind, whenever you can achieve that education which gives you that focus or ability to understand that this is what I want to do, this is where my journey will take me to. If you can get to that stage, that's when you can say, okay, now I'm educated enough. Because that will give you a success 100% guarantee. With that, thank you very much for listening. That's all I had to say.
I call him on dais. I would like to share a few words about him, ladies and gentlemen. He is the veteran leader in the IT industry and has held several leadership positions in India. He was the Chief Operating Officer of PCS Technologies and worked there for over 17 years. He is currently the co-founder, CEO and Director of Chemtrol's Infotech, that is carrying out some leading-edge work in information technology and IT infrastructure management for global and Indian brands. He is a Bachelor in Engineering from Jadavpur University and has an MBA from ISWBM, Kolkata. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Indranil Dasgupta.
Amazing day for all of us. For me, having spent 30 years of my life, first 30 years in Calcutta, it's a shame that this is my first trip to Bishnupur. We came yesterday, and I think last 24 hours or even less than that has been amazing. I would go to the extent of saying transformational. একটা ছোট্ট ইনসিডেন্ট, আমরা যখন কালকে প্রথম দুপুরে এখানে আসি, we were a group of 6 people and 5 of them came here for the first time. আমাদের সঙ্গে দুজন ইয়াং মেয়ে ছিল যারা বোম্বেতে পড়াশোনা করেছে, অ্যান্ড ওরা স্কুলে জাস্ট ঢুকে মানে উইদিন দ্য ফার্স্ট ফিউ মিনিটস দ্য ফার্স্ট কমেন্ট, স্পন্টেনিয়াস কমেন্ট ওয়াজ, can't we study here? Obviously ওরা যা পড়ে সেটা এখন হবে না, so but I'm talking about the reaction. I mean, nobody taught them to say things, they experienced it themselves, and that was the first comment they made having come here. So I mean, it is clear that it is a global facility. এরকম একটা জায়গায় যে এরকম একটা স্ট্রাকচার হতে পারে, I think it's fantastic, and kudos to the entire AGFS team and the leadership. So we have the structure. আমরা তো যোগ বিয়োগ করি, সুতরাং ওইটুকু বুঝি. We have the structure. How to get the world-class students? I think we have enough competence. The management team is here. My various friends have dwelt on it, and you have all the competence here to get it done. আমি জাস্ট একটা থট একটু ডুয়েল করতে চাই, সেটা হচ্ছে তারপরে অপরূপ said that they will go to Bombay, Bangalore, Boston, they will. But I think if this is possible to get a structure like this in Bishnupur, there is no reason why another structure like this or multiple structures like this can be created in terms of workplace where these people can work out of Bishnupur and still make it global. I mean, আমাদের যেটুকু অল্প স্বল্প ব্যবসা করতে গিয়ে আমরা যেটা দেখেছি, যে আমরা বলি ইনফরমেশন টেকনোলজিতে এখানে অনেক কৃপাদা আছেন, অনেক লার্নেড লোক আছেন যারা দেখেছেন যে ইউ ক্রিয়েট ইন্টারন্যাশনাল স্ট্রাকচার্স. তো আমরা বম্বে, পুনে, চেন্নাই, এখন কিছুটা কলকাতার কথা বলি, বাট দের ইজ নো রিজন উইথ ইন্টারনেট অ্যাক্সেস, দের ইজ নো রিজন ওয়াই দিস ক্যানট বি ডান ইন বিষ্ণুপুর. অ্যান্ড সেখানে যদি এই রাইট ট্যালেন্ট ক্রিয়েট করা যায়, স্কুল থেকে যেটা করা হলো সেখানে দ্য র মেটেরিয়াল ইজ অফ দ্য বেস্ট কোয়ালিটি, তারপরে তাকে ব্রিজ করা হলো যেটা ইন্ডাস্ট্রি রেডি করার জন্য যেটুকু দরকার. সো আই থিঙ্ক this is possible, and I would request AGFS team to dwell on this, and if this can be attempted, we are all there to support you. So যারা এখানকার ছেলে অপরূপ যে ড্রিমের কথা বললো, যে তারা তো আজকে এই স্কুলটার আগেও পড়াশোনা করছিল বা কলকাতায় গিয়ে পড়াশোনা অনেক জায়গায় করছিল, তারা এখানে একটা ওয়ার্ল্ড ক্লাস এক্সপোজার পাচ্ছে, তারপরে তারা সারা পৃথিবী ঘুরবে কিন্তু ফিরে আসতে পারে একই জায়গায়. দের ইজ লট টু ডু ইন দিস সিটি ইটসেলফ, ইন দ্য স্টেট ইটসেলফ, রাইট? তো আমাদের সবাই যেরকম আমরা এখানে করেছি, তারপরে কোনো অপরচুনিটি নিয়ে আমরা বাইরে গেছি, কিন্তু এখানে থেকে যদি সেটা করা যায়, ওয়াই নট? So that's the only thing I was thinking of last night after this visit, and of course all my best wishes, and whatever we can do, we'll do to support this initiative. It's a great initiative, a fantastic moment today. Thank you so much for being here.
আমরা সকলেই এতক্ষণ ধরে বলছি এবং আমরা এগিয়ে যাব আমাদের নেক্সট ডিগনিটারির সাথে, কিন্তু তার আগে আমি একটা জিনিস একটু অ্যাড করতে চাই, যে আমরা যেটা বারে বারে বলছি যে আ গ্লোবাল স্কুল ইন লোকাল স্টাইল, সেটার কারণটাই হচ্ছে যে ইট ইজ গোয়িং টু এনরিচ ইচ কর্নার অফ আওয়ার নেশন. সো ইটস নট অনলি অ্যাবাউট দ্য biggest cities or big cities which are getting enriched every day. So I think they are doing something really different from the others, like they are enriching the inner corners of our own nation, starting with West Bengal. Local style, that is AAJ Global Foundation School, and to the team. Thank you. এগিয়ে যাই আমাদের next guest of honor, Honorable Mr. Bhaskar Bhattacharya, founder of AAJ Global. But moving ahead, I want to introduce to you his profile. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he is a world-renowned leadership coach, facilitator, and talent development consultant. We worked in several blue-chip companies such as Tata Sky, Reliance, Pantaloons, in several organization development and management roles. He was also the executive director of Organization Development Nielsen, a global organization carrying out pioneering work in research. Bhaskar has made a difference to many lives and helped them prosper to become global leaders. He is presently the founder and director of Aspire Global, a formidable company in managing and development senior leadership talent. He is a graduate from Banaras Hindu University and completed his post-graduation from XLRI Jamshedpur. So we have got yet another leader in specialization of global things. So let's welcome Mr. Bhaskar Bhattacharya.
Warm welcome to everyone. I think you have already made the first right decision of putting your child in this school. First right decision you have already taken. যখন আমরা আগে ফেসবুকে ছবিগুলো দেখতাম আমি ভাবতাম যে কি দারুণ একটা প্রকল্প, কিন্তু যখন কালকে এসে দেখলাম তখন বুঝতে পারলাম যে অনেকেরই ইচ্ছে থাকে এরকম একটা প্রকল্প করার, কিন্তু অনেকেরই সাহস থাকে না বা রিগার থাকে না, ডিসিপ্লিন থাকে না। কিন্তু আই উড ওয়ান্ট টু কমপ্লিমেন্ট জয়া, অপরূপ, জিজো and the entire management team for putting this together, a truly world-class organization in Bishnupur. And like Indranil, this is also my first visit to Bishnupur. So I want to dwell on a few things because this is a very unique opportunity for the management, the principal ma'am, the teachers, and most importantly you parents. The opportunity is to create a culture which Aparup talked about. A culture where every child's foundation becomes very strong. কেন যে বয়সে ওরা আমাদের কাছে আসছে সেখানে ফাউন্ডেশনটা বিল্ড হবে। নাও ফাউন্ডেশনটা বিল্ড হবে কিভাবে? একটা হলো একাডেমিক পারসিউটস, যেটাকে বলা হয় আইকিউ। কিন্তু আপনারা হয়তো অনেকেই জানেন যে আইকিউ জিনিসটা 16 বছর অবধি যা ডেভেলপ হয়ে যায় অতটাই থাকে সারা জীবন, তার বেশি ডেভেলপ হয় না বা করা যায় না। So, and there are multiple research in India and across the world যেখানে দেখা গেছে যে যারা শুধু আইকিউ নিয়ে থেকেছে বা একাডেমিক পারসিউট নিয়ে থেকেছে তারা কিন্তু জীবনের যাত্রাতে অনেক জায়গাতেই ফেল করেছে। They have not succeeded in getting the best jobs or in their relationships, etc. তাহলে শুধু আইকিউ বা একাডেমিক পারসিউট ছাড়া আমাদের আর কি করতে হবে, যেখানে this school is going to play a big role under the leadership of principal ma'am, the teachers, and with active collaboration from each of you parents. আমাদের তিনটে আরো পিলার্সকে দেখতে হবে along with academic pursuits. First হলো যেটাকে বলা হয় ইমোশনাল কোশেন্ট, একটা বাচ্চার ability to manage their emotions under normal conditions and also under stress. কেন পড়ার সময় নানা ধরনের অ্যাংজাইটি হবে, স্ট্রেস হবে, সেইটাকে ম্যানেজ করা, এমপ্যাথি ডেভেলপ করা, এবং সেইখানে ওই একটা বিশাল বড় এরিয়া অফ ডেভেলপমেন্ট যেটাতে আই এম শিওর দ্য স্কুল উইল ফোকাস অন। দ্য নেক্সট ওয়ান which we all swear by is called SQ বা social quotient. মানে আমাদের বাচ্চাদের শেখাতে হবে how to build and foster relationships. কেন জীবনযাত্রায় এবং কর্মক্ষেত্রে the relationships play a very very big role. তো সেটা যদি আমাদের শেখাতে পারি আমাদের বাচ্চাদেরকে how to develop relationships, foster those relationships, that goes a long way in building a strong character as well as network. And the last one, which is called AQ or adversity quotient, the ability to handle challenges. অনেকবারই মুখ থুবড়ে পড়তে হবে, কিন্তু সেখান থেকে উঠে দাঁড়াতে হবে। So you have to stand up, dust yourself off, and get back with grit and fight back. এই চারটে জিনিস IQ, EQ, SQ আর AQ are very very critical in the holistic development of each child. এখানে প্যারেন্টসদেরও একটা বড় অবদান থাকবে। And I would like each of you to urge to work collaboratively with the principal ma'am, the teachers, to work on this. I'll end my talk with a small story. এই গল্পটা হলো একটা ফার্মারের who had a barn of hen. আর ওই হেনগুলো প্রত্যেক দিনই ডিম দিত এবং সেটা উনি বিক্রি করে তার ব্যবসা চালাতেন। তো একদিন ওই ফার্মারটা নিজের গ্রাউন্ডে ঘুরতে ঘুরতে একটা ডিম খুঁজে পেল। তো সেই ডিমটা নিয়ে গিয়ে অন্য হেনের ডিমের সঙ্গে সে রেখে দিল। যখন একটা হ্যাচ করলো তখন দেখলো যে ওই পাখিটা একটু অন্য পাখির থেকে আলাদা, রাইট? So this bird was actually not a hen, it was actually an eagle, a small eagle. Now because the eagle was growing with the other hens, it believed that it is like any other hen. So it was making the same sound, it was eating the same worms, it was not able to fly like the other hens. ও জানতেই পারলো না যে ও একটা ঈগল, ওর মধ্যে এত পাওয়ার আছে, right? Then one day as he was growing up, he noticed in the sky there was a majestic bird which was flying in flourish. And he looked at that bird and said to his mama hen, I want to be like that bird. And the mama hen said, তোমার দ্বারা হবে না, you can't do it because you are a hen. That's an eagle, that's the king of the skies. And this little changeling eagle got very disappointed, but deep down the eagle believed যে কিছু করতে পারবে. So every day he started practicing trying to fly, and one day he could fly like that majestic bird which he had seen, and he decided to fly away. So the simple message in this story is, কখনোই বাচ্চাকে বলবেন না যে তোমার দ্বারা হবে না বা তুমি পারবে না। Always give encouragement so that you can build three things. Number one, একটা বাচ্চার self esteem. Second, self belief. And third, very important, self confidence. এই যদি তিনটে জিনিস থাকে তাহলে যে কোনো ফিল্ডেই যাবে, you will find them flourish. Okay? So with these words, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for the opportunity. Once again, a huge compliment to the team. Principal ma'am, pleasure.
Your each words were really inspiring, sir. Thank you so much. Definitely did think about these topics because you have really jotted it in a very clear manner. All right, moving ahead, ladies and gentlemen, to our last speaker for the day, Mr. Ananya Sengupta. He is the co-founder and trustee. Let me introduce to you in brief about him. Okay. And he's very popular, I can understand that. Okay. He began his directing career while pursuing his master's in films and animations from Rochester Institute of Technology, New York, USA. Wow, that's great. And his award-winning animated student film, Ping Ponged. He is a recipient of several accolades. I was expecting it. Such as the Madrid International Film Festival 2018 for his animated short film. He also loves to write songs, rap, and perform in his music videos. Wow. Red, The One, Mastermind, and Law are his major award-winning music videos. His short films, music videos have got several national and international awards. Leaving behind a lucrative career in USA, he decided to start his own company in India, giving birth to a new trend bringing the fusion of Hollywood and Bollywood, which he popularly calls the Holly Bolly way. His company AAJ Media Productions was recognized as one of India's best media and entertainment startups in 2020. A young, dynamic and charismatic Jijo stands here as an example of global citizenship and will let us know about the end of beginning, his way of delivering the vote of thanks to this ceremony. So ladies and gentlemen, over to Jijo Sengupta and of course Mr. Ananda Sengupta.
This is a wrong time to be speechless, let me tell you, especially when you're giving a speech. But thank you so much for this amazing thing, all those amazing words. I think truly heart-touching, very nice. Thank you so much. But this has been very surreal. Thank you to the amazing speakers before me. It's been wonderful to hear such different perspectives and positive thinking about life. I'm a person known to just grasp knowledge, and I want to keep learning until I can stop. But I know I will never be able to stop. So I see that I am the youngest speaker here. So I'm honored, I'm very humbled, I'm very blessed to be part of this time, this day and age, 2022, yes, 2021 is done. Sorry, COVID has messed up my ears. But this is my official vote of thanks speech, which means we have reached the end of all speeches, which also means we can go inside, see the amazing school, and which also means we get to eat food. Because that is a priority, let's be real. But we have not reached the end, ladies and gentlemen. This end is only the beginning. The beginning of a great decade, the 20s, the beginning of a great century, the 2000s, and hopefully many more centuries to come. But most importantly, the beginning of great minds getting nurtured and getting built in Bishnupur. See, the thing is, knowing oneself is one of the hardest things to do. We spend our entire lives learning who we are, what we are meant to be. Our entire life, be successful, make money, go make a family, get married, so on and so forth. So in this race of life, we somehow try to figure out who we are. But most importantly, we do all of the above. And then when we try to understand who we are 50 years old or 60 years old. Oops, too late, right? So, which means that you have to discover who you are in this karmic life. And believe me, it is not a picnic. So, this is enough to traumatize people. And that's partly why they don't do it. Let me just go, get good marks, go earn some good money, get into engineering, be a doctor, and boom. So this is where I believe this famous psychologist, which I love studying, his name is Carl Jung. So he believed that it was very necessary to integrate their shadows. And what's weird is it was a terrible thing for people to attempt. Reason being because the human shadow is one of those things that you don't want to realize as a person because it goes all the way back to hell. So with a thorough analysis of your shadow, you come to understand why other people are capable of what they do and why they do it. And without that understanding, there is no possibility of bringing your own shadow under control. And if you think about it, thank you. If you think about it, it is also partly why the path to enlightenment and wisdom is seldom trod upon. Because if it was a matter of doing what you love and doing what made you happy, then everybody in the world would be paragons of wisdom, right? But it is not like that. So it's a matter of facing the thing you least want to face. And that's what this school is about. It teaches attitude. It teaches you to grow, to be a better version of yourself. and be prepared for the real world outside these gates. Knowing how to face your fears and knowing how to face the unknown. That is the most important. And this is a good thing to understand, because the gateway to wisdom and the gateway to development of personality, which is exactly the same thing, is the portal that you do not want to go through. So there's this story about King Arthur and his 10 knights. They sat at the round table. They were like, okay, I want to find the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is a cup in Christianity where Jesus drank out of that cup in the Last Supper. That's one version. The other version is the cup filled with blood from Jesus' crucifixion. But the point is, it's a holy cup. So King Arthur was like, I want this cup, it is very valuable. So the knights were very shocked. They were saying, where will I find the most valuable thing? And I don't know where to begin. So they all went searched for inside the forest. And they started looking at the darkest points of the forest. They wanted to find, okay, maybe the cup is hidden in the darkest most spot, I can't see it. So they are going to the darkest spot, and they found the darkest spot of the forest. But the funny part is, the darkest part of the forest is different for each knight. So what I'm trying to say here is there are a bunch of things that are underdeveloped, because there are things that we have avoided looking at because we don't want to look at them. And there are parts of us that we have avoided because it is hard for us to develop those parts. So if you think about it, by virtual necessity, that what we need is where we don't want to look, because that's where we have kept it, not on purpose, but subconsciously. So it is different for every individual, and it will always be like that. There is no system set in stone. That's what makes AGFS special. We are dynamic in our DNA. We adapt based on the individuality of a child, of a student, because no person is the same. Because we as Homo sapiens, we as human beings, we are limited, we are flawed, and we are fragile. We are like the genie, which is genius in this little tiny lamp with immense potential, but constrained in this little tiny living space. As Robin Williams said when he played the genie in Aladdin, if you saw the movie. But the fact that we have limitations, if you think from a film perspective, means that the plot of our life is kind of the overcoming of these limitations. And that if you don't have limitations, there wouldn't be a plot. And maybe if there's no plot, there would be any life. And that's the part of the process why we as human beings need to be acceptful of ourselves, that we are flawed, we are insufficient, and we have to live with it. You know, do you see those advertisements, terms and conditions apply? Well, life's terms and condition is that you are flawed, and it's a precondition for being. So in AGFS, we will learn, we will grow, and we will be who we are and retain that quality. We will accept our flaws, we will accept other flaws, and because that's the DNA of the school. And the only thing that we ever need to think about, the only competition that we ever need to worry about is who we were yesterday, not anybody else. The competition lies over here before us. So let's take this ending as a beginning in the education system of this country and turn over a brand new leaf to nurture such citizens of the country. And I'm so happy that I'm honestly very proud that I'm in my homeland helping my beautiful family, and I'm thankful for all of you here. I'm thankful for all the parents, especially the cute students and the beautiful smiles of everybody over here, and the parents, the students, and also potential students who are going to come join this family. So I want to conclude my speech. There's a saying in Spanish which I truly believe in. It goes like this: Venceremos porque nacimos para triunfar. What this means is we will overcome because we were born to triumph. So let's make today, and remember, the sky is the limit. Soar higher than yesterday. Cheers. Thank you so much. And before I conclude my temporary position over here and move back to the chair, I want to take this wonderful opportunity to thank some very, very special people over here and who have put in their heart and soul to make this event a success so far. So I kindly request Mrs. Jaya Sengupta to join me over here at the dais and do the honors of thanking these very special individuals.
Join us on stage. Let's give a big round of applause. একটা জোরে হাততালি চলতে থাকবে। এখন এটা কন্টিনিউ হোক। একটু হাততালিগুলো কন্টিনিউ হলে ভালো লাগবে। Yeah, let's do that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Then I would like to call Srimati Neelam Solanki to join us on stage. Thank you, Kakli ma'am. Earnest request, the names whomever I'm calling, please join us on stage and stay with us on stage. So once again, I would like to call the other two ladies also to join us on stage.
Ma'am. Thank you so much.
We shall stand as a team. The leaders are sitting in front and the teams are definitely following them and definitely being with them. Next, I would like to call Mr. Suman Dey to join us. Well, it's just for 1A, he is not my namesake, as I'm Sumana. Next, I would like to call, a very relevant name. It's Bishnupur Mukherjee and we are in Bishnupur. Wow, that's really a positive outcome and it is the sign that the universe is saying that you are in the right place and the right thing is going to happen. Next, I would like to call Ria Khan to join me on stage. Well, you can see the Bishnupur team and the Mumbai team together. They all are from Bishnupur yet and also from Mumbai. Thank you, stay with that. I tried. Thank you, Mayuri. And next, I would like to call Joy Ghoshal to join us. হাততালিগুলো একদম বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আমরা প্যারেন্টসদের বলবো না, আমাদের ছোট্ট সোনামণিদের বলবো। তোমরা সবাই হাততালি দেবে তো? সবাই একটু জোরে হাততালি হোক। Everybody. Next, I would like to call Ria to join us, who sang a very beautiful Saraswati song. And last but definitely, I want Jaya ma'am to take over.
I just want to say a few words. So this is the team. For AGFS. So be it from Mumbai or from Bishnupur. So 24/7 আমাদের সঙ্গে থেকে remotely, physically, they have built the whole dream world for Bishnupur. So that is something. So this is the team. So please, this is the team. Every time, everything, starting from couriering things, designing things, creating things, folding things, everything. So taking session, doing meetings, but they are together. So amazing. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
Being the architect. He is an architect from US and decided again, like a global citizen, to come back to India. And he has been living in this country for 20 years. He has built the largest steel plants, the largest refineries that you can think of. He is a man and he was very kind enough to offer his architectural planning. He was very ably supported by Bijoy Tonk. Bijoy, please come on stage. I mean, he's the project manager and this is the best dress I've seen him because he's on a jeans and a hat and he's somewhere in the mud. And look at him as an engineer. I mean, he follows those 4 principles that Bhaskar said, and a successful man. And I think Vivek, I think you should also come on stage. He has been the supervisor and has been constantly working day and night all along. I thought they will get a big round of applause. And since this is going to be a group photograph, it will not be complete without my dearest friend, Kripamoy Mondol. I mean, right, he is my roommate from my college, in the engineering college. We studied together. He was in electronics, I was in electrical, and he has been a moral supporter for me. If I had to go and find out ideas, he is the one who did that. He is the one who is the only local person in Bishnupur. So we have overpowered him from all the team from all over, and he brings in all the courage and all the stuff that you see here, that we made it happen. And thank you. So we can take a quick photo.
Of our AGFS, and of course we have Mr. Devendra Reddy, Trustee, Mr. Anil Modi, Trustee, Mr. Indranil Dasgupta, our guest of honor, CEO of Chemtrolls Infotech, Mr. Bhaskar Bhattacharya, founder of AAJ Global, and with all their gracious presence and the teams and their parents, we shall start the ribbon cutting ceremony right away, with all the presence of our guest of honors and founders, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do the honors, ladies and gentlemen, with a very devotional note.